IELTS Cast, Episode 21.
You're listening to IELTS Cast, the podcast that puts you in touch with successful IELTS candidates from around the world. Listen and learn as they explain how they achieved Band 7, 8 and even 9. Now, here's your host, Ryan.
Hello and welcome to IELTS Cast. My name is Ryan, and today I'm speaking with Shakir, an IELTS test taker from Bangladesh. Shakir scored a Band 8 in the speaking section of his exam, and he's been kind enough to be with me today and share a little bit about his experience and how he managed to score such a high mark. So hi Shakir, thanks and welcome to IELTS Cast.
Hi Ryan, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's nice to finally meet you. We had a few problems getting in touch, but we finally made it together today.
Yes, finally I can hear you.
Okay, so Shakir, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us about where you're from, where you took the examination, and why you took the examination.
Well, I'm Shakir Ahmed Khan. I live in Bangladesh, and my state is called Sylhet. I took IELTS exam so that I can take my master's in Canada, because that's where my elder brother stays. So I did my Bachelor of Business Administration from American International University, that's situated on the capital of Bangladesh. I did BBA, that is Bachelor of Business Administration, on the last year, and now I want to pursue my Masters in Canada, as I said. Mm-hmm. So that's why I took my IELTS exam, and my requirement was 6.5, and thankfully I met it. So that's why I took the IELTS exam, actually, to go to abroad and pursue a master's degree.
Okay, terrific. So you did your studies in Dhaka, is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and you took your IELTS in Dhaka.
Right.
Okay.
No. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. I took my IELTS in Sylhet, actually, in my native town, actually.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you took the examination there. So you scored Band 8 in speaking, and you have intentions to go to Canada to study. And whereabouts in Canada are you planning to study?
I'm planning to study in University of British Columbia or Simon Fraser University. Both are located at Vancouver.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
Okay, now let's get into the interview itself. So we know a bit about your background. You took the exam recently. You scored Band 8 in speaking. What did you do in your preparation that you feel led you to be able to score Band 8?
Well, actually, I wanted to score as higher as possible. That was my ambition. So I started talking in English on last couple of years with my friends and families and a few other colleagues also. So I started speaking English because I knew that it was my ambition for such a long time to pursue a foreign degree from Canada. So I took preparation by talking in English with, as I said, with my friends, colleagues, and family members for the last 4 or 5 years, and then I went into YouTube and some other websites, and I traced down all the speaking techniques which can be handy for me. So I traced down all of those, and I tried to practice those by sitting at home, actually.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds as though half of your studying was done with others and half of your studying was done independently. Would you say that's accurate?
Exactly.
Okay. So now let's talk a little bit more in detail about the speaking that you did with friends. So can you give us a bit of background, maybe give us a bit of background about Bangladesh? Are there lots of English speakers there or not so many? Or
Actually, there are very few English speakers, but I did my undergrad from American International University. So there I found few good friends who would like to talk in English, and I found a foreign friend who was from Denmark, I think, and I used to talk with him in English a lot. Mm-hmm. So that really improved my skill. And I felt very good because I think just by practicing English, it really enhanced my skill in talking, actually.
Okay, I see. What sort of training did you do with your friends? Was it just sort of chit chat, or did you guys have some specific goals to the speaking you were doing together?
Actually, it was you can say just chatting or just a chit chat, as you said. Yeah, that's exactly like that, because I knew that in my future I have to talk in English a lot. So and I really find interesting to talk in English. So actually, quite frankly, all through my life I talked in my native language. So on last couple of years I practiced English a lot with whatever person I can avail in front of me. So I talk with them a lot. So with friends I talk with them everything in English. Actually, I encourage them to talk with me in English, so that they can also get benefit out of it.
I see, I see. So now let's talk a bit about the independent side of your studying. So you mentioned that you used websites to learn speaking techniques. Can you tell us which websites those were and what the techniques were?
Well, actually, I went into YouTube and I typed English speaking, this sort of keywords I typed over there, and I found a lot of nice videos over there. So I downloaded a few of them, and from there on I learned some tricks and tips, like how can I get good scores in IELTS speaking. Like in IELTS there are 3 parts. First is introductory part, second one is topic or keyword, and last one is the analytical part. So I learned a lot of techniques over there. Before browsing into YouTube, actually I had no idea what can be the upcoming questions or the scenario of the speaking test of IELTS exam. But also, yeah, so from YouTube I learned a lot from some random videos, I have to admit that. And also at the same time I purchased some books from my locality in Dhaka. By the way, I lived in Dhaka for last 5 years, and now I'm in my native town actually. So due to my educational purpose, I was in Dhaka. So from there on I purchased some high quality books for speaking tests. So I followed those as much as I can. But I have to admit, Ryan, your website, I mean, is fabulous. It's called www.ieltscast.com. Actually, I don't know. I quite honestly, actually, I was browsing around in internet, and suddenly, through anywhere, I found your link, and I just clicked over there. I have found, I think, 18 or 19 audio clips over there. So I just downloaded all of those, and those 19 helped me totally right all through my IELTS preparation, not only in speaking, also in reading, writing, and listening also. So your website, IELTScast.com, also helped me a lot. I have to admit that. And so actually, basically, I have to say that through YouTube and some good books of speaking, your blogs, and also there were a few other websites I can't recall at this moment. I went through over those. I think another website maybe I can't recall actually at this moment, sorry for that. But yeah, those few websites were really handy. I have to appreciate all of those.
Okay. Do you remember any of these specific techniques that you learned from those websites? So I don't know if they focused on linking your sentences together, or if they focused on training you to speak at length. Can you recall any of the specific techniques that you learned at those websites?
Definitely. I would love to share some handy tricks that I've learned from all those sources. First one, I have to admit that I've seen somewhere that while talking with the examiner, I have to keep an eye contact with the examiner. That's one thing. Then another thing is that in the topic card section, that is called the second part, I have to keep on talking until the examiner stops me. That's another technique I can recall. Then in the analytical part, I have to give the answer by using all my intelligence and all my capability to give most sensible answer as much as possible. Another technique is that that was very crucial technique. I have to admit that in topic card section there should be no stopping from my corner. That's one thing I've learned. And another part is that I have to give detailed answer of both the second and third part. That's what I've learned from them. And also I can recall that I have to I have to be confident in front of the examiner, so that I don't. I feel myself as good and as cheerful on that examination hall. So that it's for my benefit. And another thing is that I should not get panic if I can't answer anything properly. That's another trick. And then I also have to answer elaborately. So a few other techniques are also there. So basically in speaking test room, I have to be very much relaxed. And one more technique is that I have to be very much friendly with the examiner. I think, Ryan, these sort of techniques I've learned from those sources, actually.
Okay, great. So several very good tips there. Now, you mentioned the importance of presenting yourself with confidence. What are some of the strategies, maybe the mind tricks that you use to make yourself feel confident in a situation where you might feel nervous?
Okay, right before my examination in speaking, I had drank a glass of water. That's what I can recall.
Okay.
And I strongly believed in myself that I will be able to get the maximum out of it. I believed in myself strongly. I had a very strong, firm belief that, okay, I will do my best on this speaking part. That was my one strategy. And another thing is that I was mentally prepared that I know some answers may not be good, but I have to act like it's nothing. So this sort of mentality I've grown, I've adapted within myself just by using mental power, actually.
Okay, terrific. Now, did you do any mock test as far as speaking is concerned before the?
Well, yeah. I did a few informal mock tests. Actually, one of my friends used to live with me. I told him to take an interview of us speaking test. I gave him few question booklets, and he took an informal interview he took a couple of interviews of mine. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys did some role playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said that you recorded this.
Yes.
And
yes, Ryan.
So were you recording it video, or was it recorded audio?
Well, actually, it was recorded through video, actually, through cell phone, actually.
Okay, so now let's talk about that for a second, because you're the first student to share this specific technique with me. I've heard of students that record the audio and listen to the audio. The video is important, though, as you've pointed out, because you point out that it's important to have eye contact with your examiner. So you seem to stress the importance of presentation. So when you saw yourself in the video, in those practice videos, what were some of the things as far as body language is concerned, as far as the image of confidence is concerned? What were some of the things that you changed after you watched the video?
Well, actually, it is very important to have an eye contact, because if I don't have any eye contact, it indicates that I'm feeling shy or I'm not feeling comfortable in front of examiner. It indicates that. Actually, I learned that in my university life. One of my teacher advised me this while I was doing presentation at that time. So, yeah, having eye contact is very important, and confidence is also another vital issue. Well, actually, Ryan, I just missed the point. What have you asked, actually?
No, I was just asking, when you saw yourself in the video, was there anything regarding your body language that you wanted to change?
Well, video recording is very, very crucial, because through the video I can see that how do I look like, how will I appear in front of the examiner. That's a very significant indication, actually. So while in the video recording, I can see that my body gets not stable. Actually, I can observe that my body is not stable; it's moving around. So I can rectify that through watching that video, and I did actually. And some other things like how do I contact with the examiner how my lips and body actually acts at that time. I observe those actually. I observe those and I try to be much smarter.
Okay, that's interesting. Actually, that's a very interesting tip that I hadn't heard before, and I think that that's very valid to focus on the image, the complete image that you're presenting, the way that you look, the way that you act, the way that you're moving your head, the eye contact, all of that. I think is very important. Now, let's move on and talk about the experience that you had in the examination room itself. So when you were talking with the examiner, what can you tell us about the examiner? Tell us about the way that they spoke and how you felt in the room with them.
Okay, actually, quite honestly, I was very nervous. Even though I was nervous just before the arrival of my call, I was nervous. So when my call came, I went to the room, and there was a foreign examiner. I think she was somewhere from UK. It's my assumption actually. Anyway, so when I entered into the room, she said, good morning. I said, yeah, good morning, ma'am. She told me to sit down. I graduated her, and then initially she asked my name and where did I came from and what's my occupation and am I still a student or a job holder. This sort of initial things she asked me at the beginning. I can clearly recall those. So I answered all of those not elaborately, in a short form. Then she told me that what is my hobby and what do I like to do in my free time. This sort of basic things she asked me in the beginning. But I have to admit that examiner was very, very friendly. And when I entered into the room, she welcomed me with a very nice smile. I felt very happy at that time. So she made me actually comfortable. So then should I continue with the rest of my experience?
Sure, yeah. You can just run us right through the experience. Sure.
Yeah. So in my first part, she asked me some basic questions, and I replied all of those in a normal manner. Then in the second part, she gave me a cue card or basic or a topic card, I can say. So there, my topic was describe a book that I enjoyed recently. That was my topic card. So she gave me 1 to 2 minutes actually to write down anything in a blank paper. So that was silent time. I was thinking what book should I recall or something like this. I was thinking around. I made no note at that time. After 1 to 2 minutes, she suddenly said, "Okay, Mr. Shakir, are you ready now?"
Yeah,
I said, "Yes,
Shakir, let me stop you there for a second. You made no note at all on your paper?
Actually, I made no note because even though I was holding pencil in my hand, but I actually didn't make any note.
Oh.
Actually, I was just constantly thinking. Okay, so then after like 2 minutes, she said, "Are you ready now?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm ready." So then she said that, "Okay, you continue." Okay. Then I described. I mentioned that I read a book a few years back called "The Biographies of David Beckham." So I said a lot of things regarding that book and how that book, entertained me and had an influence in my life. Because in my childhood days, I dreamt to become a soccer player one day, but in reality that doesn't turn out. But okay, I described a lot regarding that book, and but I faced a difficulty at that time because she told me to continue talking for 2 minutes. She said, but I realized that after 1 minute, I ran out of words actually because I talked very fast at that examination hall. Even what I'm talking at this speed, actually, I talk much faster at that time. So I don't know whether it was my wrong fault or not. Anyway, but I talk very fast. But after 1 minute, I felt out that I'm finding nothing to say. But I continued talking. I found something else that I said that on that book I found some lovely pictures of Beckham's family and some other things. I continued talking a lot, and then after 2 minutes, I think she stopped me. She stopped me, and then she continued few other questions regarding that book. I answered those elaborately, and then she started the last part called analytical part, and there were a few tricky questions, and so after the exam I felt like I did pretty well, because the examiner seemed very happy on my performance. I just assumed that by observing her attitude towards me. And in the end, she delivered some friendly speeches to me, that where do you want to go, and what's your future plan. This sort of informal things she asked me at the end. So after the completion of my exam, I felt like I have a very good opportunity to go for 8 or 8.5. It was just my assumption, and well, it turned out right in the reality.
Okay, terrific. And just I should have asked this before, but was this the first time you had taken the exam?
No, Ryan, actually, it was the second time that I appeared in the IELTS exam.
Okay, so the first time that you took it, what was the speaking score then?
It was 7.5.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of still in the same sort of ballpark. Well, that's good. So you walked out of the examination room. You obviously you felt confident. So now, if we just talk about other students that are listening to you now, and they have aspirations of scoring 8.8, 8.5. What would you suggest they do?
Well, actually, I would like to suggest them that those who are intending to take part in IELTS exam, I think you need to start speaking from this very moment, because speaking is such a part, I believe, where if you don't speak, if you don't raise your voice more and more, then the problem which you will face in the examination hall is like you may get stuck at any point. And if you stuck at any point, then you will become nervous, and it will have a bad impact on yourself. So basically what I'm trying, that keep talking more and more in English. Keep talking as much as possible with everyone you can around you, because only by practicing your skill will develop. And actually it doesn't actually raises within a day or a week. So as soon as you can start practicing English, it will help you a lot in long run or in IELTS exam also. That's my first advice is. So my first advice is you please keep practicing English, talking in English more and more. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that there are certain tips and techniques that you should follow for your IELTS exam. Like I've mentioned some of them in the early part of this conversation. And well, you need to be very much confident. It is very crucial, because if you are not not bright in front of the examiner, then it will not be good enough, I think. But I believe getting 8 or 8.5 in IELTS speaking is quite easy if you regularly practice. And if you bring out your very best on that examination hall, that will help you a lot. And eye contact is also very important. And just be normal and deliver your very best. That's how you can earn a very good grade in speaking test. Thank you.
Very good advice, Shakir. Thank you very much for sharing it. And thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And quite honestly, really, your website is really helped me a lot, because those 19 audio clips which I've listened, actually, I heard those twice or thrice. So those were really handy. I really appreciate those.
Oh, terrific. Well, I'm glad they were helpful.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Cheers.
Thank you for downloading from IELTS.com. Have you achieved an overall band of 7 or higher on the IELTS exam? Why not contribute to the podcast? Contact Ryan at his blog, IELTS.com. And don't forget to rate this podcast on iTunes.